Yo! Video games.
What up, dudes? Matt here from YoVideogames, and as we get down to the countdown of this year's E3 and their Mega Zelda blowout, I decided I'm going to try to make as many Zelda videos as I can, just discussing the overall series, some of my favorite memories, and just general things that I think are worth discussing. So, without further ado, let's get started. Now, obviously, as you can see from the title of this episode, I'm going to be talking about casting my ideal Zelda game. Now, there have been rumors some months ago that the new Zelda is going to have voice acting, and of course, Link is not going to have any voice acting. I'm sure he'll have his, general grunts and screams and whatever, but in generally speaking, it sounds like the series is going to be somewhat traditional in that respect, and that Link's not going to talk, he's not going to have a voice. But that being said, there is a lot of other characters, a lot of text goes into a Zelda game, and hell, they already animate them speaking and moving their mouths, so really at this point, it just makes sense to have voice acting in the game. Now, I'm going to talk about the big characters first. Now, my first choice is Ganondorf, of course, and my ideal choice for casting Ganondorf is actually T.C. Carson. He's an actor, singer, he's kind of famous in the video game world for doing Kratos. Now, I don't exactly want him to do just Kratos for Ganondorf. I would want a more regal, elegant kind of variation on Ganondorf. Definitely, though, he brings the anger, he brings the spite, and he brings the bass and like the inner like anguish that I think would be really good for a Ganondorf. I think he's a perfect choice for the character, and I can definitely see him playing the character. For the character of Princess Zelda, that's actually a little unique. Now, I'm going to go a little off base here and be a little bit, sentimental about it, I guess you could say. And my casting for the ideal Zelda is actually Zelda Williams. Zelda Williams is already proving herself as a voice actress, so she's got the chops. If you haven't heard her, she was recently in The Legend of Korra as the Great Uniter Kuvira. Now, a lot of people might say, well, she's got maybe too deep of a voice or maybe too authoritative a voice, but I mean, come on, let's look at it this way. A, Zelda is a princess, so she should be authoritative, and B, Zelda has traditionally always been described as a tomboy. So if you were thinking she was going to get a more dainty, princessy voice, I actually don't think that would fit the character. And especially since we don't know what the new Zelda looks like in the newest game, so she could actually look like anything. Again, Nintendo's shown they're not afraid to somewhat change up the look and style of Zelda. Obviously, you have Tetra, who's a pirate chick, and then, of course, you have Zelda from Skyward Sword, who looks pretty different from some of the other Zeldas in the series. Like, generally, yeah, they're blonde, but at the same time, she's not necessarily been, say, like Peach, who's always looked the same in every single game. So I would actually cast Zelda Williams. It's a huge nod to the fact that the family has been a huge fan of the series for some time, and she's also got the acting chops to do it. So I think that would actually be a great role for Zelda Williams to fill as a Princess Zelda. And I think if they were being really cool and really generous, it would be kind of neat to see some sort of homage or respect paid, and have her father in the game either be named like Robin, No Hansen Hyrule, or Williams, No Hansen Hyrule. He probably doesn't have to have a speaking role, obviously, because of the tragic passing of Robin Williams, but it would be cool if maybe there was like a gallery or a portrait hanging in Hyrule Castle somewhere, and his name was labeled as Williams, No Hansen Hyrule, or Robin, No Hansen Hyrule, or something like that. It would just be a really cool nod, even if he doesn't actually speak. But it would be neat to have, Zelda Williams playing Zelda, and then her father is a homage to the great comedic actor Robin Williams, who loved the series so much and was such an influential part of his life. So that would be really cool. Now, the other thing is, like, going from there's not really a set cast of characters that appears in every game. You could probably say Impa is the most likely character, to be in the game if there are any other returning characters. I don't actually have really a great person in mind for Impa necessarily. The thing is, with Impa, her design actually does really radically change. She has been like a ancient, falling apart old woman. She has been like a middle-aged warrior chick. She's been younger. She's been sort of more exotic looking in Skyward Sword. So like, really, it's hard to really say who could play a good Impa. Definitely someone with a little bit more kick, or again, more someone not tomboyish, but someone definitely more who you really could believe could kick your ass. That would be Impa. I mean, you can maybe even go a part where she could actually have a more quiet demeanor, because she is, of course, Sheikah, so that would have like a sort of ninja-esque, sort of in the shadows. So it might be kind of cool to have a more quiet, reserved character with a more maybe mysterious or even raspy voice. That would be really cool to see as well. It really depends, though, what the rest of the NPC cast is going to look like. I don't think there's going to be a Tingle in the game, but if there was a Tingle, I mean, that would be fun to cast because there's a lot of great general voice actors who could do probably an amazing job of doing Tingle. You got, your Maurice LaMarche and Rob Paulson, they could make Phil Lamar even, and just, there's a lot of characters, even Billy West. I'm like, you could do that if you wanted to do, say, Tingle, but you could also go with more celebrity route. And I always shy away from the celebrity route. I think going celebrity route just kind of points out that, hey, we got a celebrity in our game, not necessarily someone who's going to fit the character the best. So I would always try to avoid the celebrity route. I mean, you could say, hey, T.C. Carson's an actor, Zelda Williams an actress, but they're more well known for their voices and they have voice acting chops. They're not necessarily a movie or TV celebrity that's doesn't do a lot of voice work, and then they're kind of brought in to do voice work. So again, kind of rambling there for a bit, but that's exactly how I would do the new Zelda game, assuming that we're going to get Zelda and Ganondorf. Because really, honestly, even Ganondorf's not a guarantee in the new Zelda game. I'm probably Zelda. And again, we've had Zelda games without Zelda or Ganondorf. We've had Majora's Mask, we've had Link's Awakening. They're either mentioned or seen briefly in a flashback, like the briefest of flashbacks. So, I mean, obviously, Zelda games are not beholden to have Ganondorf. They're not beholden to have Zelda. In fact, many would argue, even myself would argue, that some of the best Zelda games were made without Zelda and Ganondorf at all in the plot. So, definitely not something you have to have. But hey, if you're going to have Zelda and Ganondorf, on my vote, it's for Zelda Williams and T.C. Carson. Link can be whoever he wants. Now, the only other real question here is, would Zelda need, or should Zelda have dual audio, assuming, they're going to have voice acting in the game? And that's a tough question to have. I've always gone in the favor of more options, the better. Like, if you wanted to have a Zelda game where there's no voice acting and it just displays the text in the classic style, that should be an option. If you want English acting, that should be an option. If you want Japanese audio, that should be an option as well. I think options are good. However, considering how these big budget AAA games usually go, it probably would, most likely scenarios, if they're doing voice acting, you're just going to get English voice acting. You're not going to get any other options. They're not going to be like Atlas or something and try to appease all the hardcore crowd as well. So they'll probably just go, hey, we're going to fill up the Blu-ray disc to max capacity, and we're only going to have room for one voice language track. And guess what? You'll get the track for your region, of course. So that being said and everything, looking forward to the new Zelda. I actually really do hope that we get a trailer at least before they start live streaming it, and so we can actually see a really nicely put together, nicely edited and presented, first real good look at the game, and not some 30-second clip or not some few minutes of off-screen footage, because we're gonna get the streaming footage. Let us see what the game has to offer, especially if it has voice acting. I want to hear it. I want to see some of the features presented in a nicely edited trailer fashion. So that's all I got to say for this video. I hope to bring you more videos in the coming week leading up to E3, and let me know who you guys think you would cast. Who's your perfect Zelda cast? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you on the channel. Later, dudes!